Okay, class, let's go over the answers to this review. In this first question, I'm just asking you to tell me which number represents slope, which number represents y-intercept. Now, we know our formula is equal to y is equal to mx plus b, where the m is our slope and the b is our y-intercept. So that tells me that the 5 is my slope and the 3 is the y-intercept. Now, number 2, what I'm asking you on this one is tell me what the slope and y-intercept is from this t-chart. Now, we know in order to find slope from a t-chart, we do delta y divided by delta x, which is the change on the right side divided by the change on the left side. So 5 divided by 1 is 5. And we know our y-intercept is going to be the y value when x is 0. So it's 12. On number 3, we know we're going to, it says find what is the slope. I'm not asking you to find the y-intercept this time, but what is the slope of the line that goes through the 2 points? Well, we know we have a formula that's m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, okay, which is the slope formula if I'm given 2 points. So I've asked you to use the following procedure. Label first point is 1, second point is 2, so that tells me that the first point is x1, y1, and then the second one is x2, y2. And then you just plug your numbers in. M is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And then we just do the math. Well, 0 minus 6 is negative 6, and negative 2 minus negative 4, which is the same thing as negative 2 plus positive 4, gives me 2. And then negative 6 divided by 2 gives me negative 3, which is the slope between the slope of the line between those 2 points. On number 4, all I'm doing is asking you to find the slope and y-intercept from a t-chart. Well, we know from a t-chart that it's at delta y over delta x again. So what is the pattern on the right? Negative 3. What's the pattern on the left? 1. So our slope is negative 3 divided by 1, which is just negative 3. Our y-intercept is still going to be the y value when x is 0. So that is the 2. Number 5, I'm asking you to do the same thing, but once you find the slope and y-intercept, I'm asking you to plug it into the equation. Okay, so my slope, my pattern on the right-hand side is increase by 4. My pattern on the left-hand side is decrease by 2. So my slope is 4 divided by negative 2, which is just negative 2. And again, our y-intercept is going to be the y value when x is 0, so that's the 6. So now if we plug those values into the formula, we get negative 2x plus 6. Now in number 6, it says identify the slope and the y-intercept and the equation that is represented by this table. Now this table, it's just a t-chart. It's a horizontal t-chart versus a vertical t-chart. We just need to know that the top numbers are x and the bottom numbers are y. And if you don't like the t-chart that way, then copy it into a vertical one. Our x values go on the left, and our y values go on the right. No big deal either way. Now it asks for a rate of change, and the rate of change is nothing but what is the slope. That's all it amounts to. Okay, so it's the pattern on the right divided by the pattern on the left. So 4 over 1 is 4. And again, the y-intercept is the 0 value, or the y value when x is 0. So it's going to be 0. So we plug it into the equation as 4x plus 0. Now, in number 7, we're doing the same exact thing, but this time we're doing it from a graph. And on a graph, it's easier to find the y-intercept first, because the y-intercept is the point in which it crosses the y-axis. So in this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So our y-intercept is 4. Now, our slope is determined from 2 good points, and we do our rise over run. So it's the up or down value divided by the right or left value. In this case, it'd be the right value. So we go from a left point to the right point, and it goes up 4 over 2. So that means it's up 4 over 2, so our slope is 2. So we plug that into the equation as 2x plus 4. Now, number 8 and 9, I'm asking you to do the same exact thing, but in the situation. So this is where we're really dealing with that rate of change. Okay, so the graph shows the relationship between the amount of sales Mr. Henderson makes each week and the amount of money he earns at the grocery store. So what is the y-intercept? So the y-intercept is the point at which it crosses the y-axis. So since this is just quadrant 1, our y-axis is right there on the left, and our y-intercept is 1,000. Now to find the slope, we do the same thing that we've been doing. Pick 2 good points. Well, there's our first good point, and here's our second good point. So it goes up 1 over 2. But that up 1, we've got to pay attention to what that represents. Well, if 2 lines represents 500, in the middle of that is 250, which is half of that. So each line then represents 250. So this really is 1,250 for that line. So how much did it go up? It actually went up 250, and it went over, well, 2 lines in this case represent 5,000. So there's 2 ways of finding the slope here. One way, simplify this down. So the 250 divided by 5,000, I can cross out one of those zeros, which is the same as dividing it by 10. And then divide the 25 by 25 and the 500 by 25. And it simplifies to 1 over 20. So that would be one of the slopes that we could use. The other one is if I just take the 250 and divide it by 5,000 in the calculator, you end up with 0.05. And either one of those would be an acceptable slope. So then I would plug that in as 0.05 and then 1,000. That would be my equation. Now in number 9, I'm doing the same thing. And this one right here, it says the graph models the value of a machine over a 10-year period. Okay, so again, it says according to the graph, what is the rate of change? Well, the rate of change, again, is just the slope. So I pick 2 good points. Here's a good point. Here's a good point. And I go down. Okay, well, that down right there goes down 1. So that's -1. And then it runs 2. So one thing I could have is -1/2 or -0.5. But now if we really look at what this represents here, oh, sorry about that. If we look at what this really represents, okay, our money is in terms of thousands. So that's really, could be 8,000. Or not 8,000, sorry about that. But that really could be, 8,000 to 7,000, which is going down 1,000. And then it runs 2 there, okay, or 2 years worth. Okay, so really that would simplify down to -500. Okay, so you could use either one of those as my equation. So if you use the first one, you could do the -1/2 or the -0.5, and then we find our y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is either at 8 or 8,000, depending upon which way you interpret it. So if you did the -1/2, then you would use the 8. But if you did the -500 as your slope, then you would have to use the 8,000 for your y-intercept. And then last but not least, we have another equation. Now we know the equation is y is equal to mx plus b like we did in the first one. Okay, but in this particular one, I reverse that. So this b plus mx, we know that whatever value is with that x is always our slope, no matter which way it's written. So this way, the 3/4 would be our slope, and the 2 would be our y-intercept. Now, graphing this is one of the easiest things we can do. Okay, so I take the y-intercept and I graph it. So right here is where the 2 is. Now this slope, the 3/4, what it means is I'm going to go up 3 and I'm going to go over 4 to find the next point. So I go up 3, over 4, and I put a dot. Then I go up 3 more and I go over 4 for the next dot. Okay, and that gives me the graph of my line. Okay, now you don't really draw those lines in there, you just do that for the points. Now let me do that one more time to kind of show you how that works. You start at the y-intercept, which is 2, and then we're going to go up 3 over 4 to do the next point, and then up 3 over 4 to do the next point. And now, like I said, you don't need these little lines right here. I was just doing that to show you how we do that. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong thing there. Okay, so up 3 over 4, and then up 3 over 4, and then you draw your line. You must graph at least 3 points on your graph. And that's how you'll do your test tomorrow, okay? So I wish you the best of luck on it. It does count in this 6 weeks, and it counts as a major grade. So do your best. I'll see you later.